time to color it up. Beyond the gray, beyond the noise, there are distant lands of plastic and static grass, where heroes rise, where monsters clash, where dice still roll, and we become kids again. Every scar and every crooked line tells a story from another age. Not perfect, no, but full of life, like a legend walking off the page. So strike the chord, let the synths arise, let the bagpipes call across the stone. From Asturias to the dungeon door, we were never painting them alone. In a world where everything is grim, we're going to color it up again, with plastic dreams and static grass, with heroes, monsters, dice and friends. Let the old worlds burn bright tonight, let the washes run like rain. We fight the gray with red and gold and become kids again. Roll the dice, open the gate, light the torch before it's late. Brush in hand, heart awake, every mistake is ours to make. Neon skies and Celtic fire, rusted blades and painted wire. Old school magic, loud and true, one more quest for me and you. Not everything.
Buenas noches, ¿cómo estáis? How's everyone doing? Today I have something quite special to paint here. Well, every day is a special day to paint miniatures, so how about we take a look at this one that you guys chose in the stream from yesterday. It's a Chaos Cult Leader, or it looks like a Chaos Cult Leader, so I'm not sure how to approach this guy. I have some ideas though. It has a few things that are quite interesting. The first one is that he's wearing this mask over here. And the second one is that he's branding, yes, this huge executioner's blade. So, in my opinion, this guy looks quite menacing already as he is. But if we paint him with the right colors, it's gonna make him pop and it's gonna make him a memorable enemy for our players. How is everybody doing? Hola, Cozy. Hombre, Fran, ¿cómo estás aquí? Beneath the flagstones, of course. Welcome back to the stream. How are you guys doing tonight? Let's see. Alright, let me get my camera up and running. Everything is up and running. I think everybody can hear me today. Is the sound fine? Let me know, because the microphone always plays tricks with me. I hope the music is not too loud, so give me some feedback over there, because otherwise I need to wear these things and it's freaking hot, okay? With the lamp and whatnot. The summer is already here, and painting and being sweaty is too much. Good to see that you're good. Alright, let me get some water because it's been a long day today. Alright. So, I'm gonna put my glasses on and let's start with the streaming. A ver, ¿dónde está todo esto? Let me just get my things going on. Okay. So, Chaos. Are they really the bad guys in the Warhammer world? Or are they misunderstood characters? People who had no choice but to turn to the ruinous powers, to find freedom, to find, you know, the things that they couldn't find in society. And eventually, all the things that they prayed for, sometimes they happen. They get blessings of the gods in the shape of, well, mutations and things that are not truly beneficial for them in the short term. But if they stay in that path, if they keep going down that path, they're gonna have their reward, becoming a demon prince. Immortal creatures who are very powerful, and they can do basically whatever. Because even if you kill them in the real world, they will be able to come back from the netherworld, from the warp. This guy is probably in that path of damnation. He's trying to get his acolytes to do his bidding, and he's gonna try to become a demon prince eventually. Is that gonna happen? Well, not if our heroes do something about it, but we're gonna paint him in a way that basically is gonna look like he's gonna be able to do it. So, first of all, I need to decide what colors are gonna be the clothes. And the moon is giving me some hints, because if I paint the moon as I wanted to paint it, in a very bright yellow, then the other colors need to be, accordingly, something that is gonna contrast with that. And we have a few different key elements here. He's wearing gloves, very long sleeve gloves up to the elbow. He's wearing this typical imperial type of clothing, which is, you know, those cut, very Lanskenetti type of clothes that you can find everywhere. Hello, Charlie Echo. Welcome to see you. Welcome here. Welcome. Nice to see you here. He's also wearing some kind of scale mail. And then he's wearing these flowing kind of decorations that they tie basically to a couple of symbols here, which are not Chaos stars because they only have 6 points, but you get the idea. And very nice, interesting shoes. So, finding the right combination of colors is equally important on a miniature that looks this good. I really like this miniature. It has a lot of character, and the fact that it has a mask is telling me a story already, okay? Because I don't know if you notice, but having a mask is giving you the ability to remove yourself as an individual and to make him a character, a role, something that becomes bigger than if you just had a face. Like, let me explain what I'm trying to say here before I start painting, okay? If I have a guy like this guy here, all right? He has a face. He is going to impersonate somebody. He's gonna be one of the characters in your party. He's gonna be the old guy, the old experienced guy who has seen his share of combat. As you can see, he's missing one eye, and he's stoic, he's brave, he's ready to face things on, and he basically he has an attitude of I'm not giving up, you know what I mean, okay? Then we also have, for instance, yes, this wizard who is casting a spell. His face is telling us a story. He's doing a lot of effort, trying to get the magic through his fingers and concentrating on basically not getting killed and destroying whatever is in front of him. So he's a character, he has a story, he's someone, and if he gets killed, well, yeah, you can roll a different character, but it's, you killed somebody. You know what I mean? He's not gonna be, I don't think I can say killed that much in YouTube. The guy who we painted yesterday, same thing. He has his story, he has a background, he can tell us a story. He came from the woods and he has a magic blade and he's looking forward to avenging somebody. You know, there is a backstory to him. But if you notice something, the bad guys that I painted so far in the stream, which are, well, the skeletons, which basically are automatons, this guy, we cannot tell much from the face. It doesn't have that, you know, because we don't see the eyes, we only see the the menace in that facial feature in his mouth. Okay, and this guy as well. He's not an evil character, but he's a persona. Somebody, although we see the eyes, so much of his face is hidden that it becomes mysterious. Once you get a mask, once you cover the whole face, this guy is not Alfred from down the road. He's the leader of a chaos cult. He becomes something greater than if you saw his face. And it's not a mutation, it's a mask because it's sewn on the back. So this is telling you quite an interesting story already. The fact that if we change this head and we put anything else, it will not give us the same vibe. So that already gives you so much to actually find what you want to paint, that it becomes super interesting. And I can give you more examples of this, what I'm trying to tell. Okay, for instance, Darth Vader. Okay, you don't know who Darth Vader is until he says that famous phrase of his, "No, I am your father," and then he takes off his helmet later on in the movies, and then all of a sudden, okay, wait a minute, this guy is not, okay, he goes from being the evil antagonist of everybody to being, oh wow, okay, so he was the chosen one, he was the father of who is the hero now. That creates a lot of drama. Okay, so same thing here. If you're playing a role-playing game and this guy is the main antagonist of our players, then all of a sudden you can do things like that. You can start like, okay, after you defeat him, he takes off the mask and is the guy who hired you, the guy who gave you the information of where the cult is, the guy who maybe somebody in your family, you know, the brother that you were looking for, etc, etc. It gives you all these realm of possibilities. And for us right now, painting miniatures is, well, whatever, no, but it gives you a lot of opportunities to create that type of persona. Moreover, he's also brandishing that freaking huge executioner sword. So, boom, all of a sudden, he's wearing a mask, because executioners, everybody knew who they were, but they didn't want to be seen as such, okay? So, you know what I mean. Okay, let's get some magenta and red on top of him as of now. Let's see what we can do out of this. Let me get that light a little bit closer. There we go. And from here, I'm gonna start building the colors that I want to go against that yellow. And I'm looking for striking colors. I'm looking for a combination that is gonna make you go and look at the face much more with more intensity. So finding that good combo of colors is going to be paramount right now. It's the most important part of the paint job. What am I gonna paint him with? Forget about the techniques, forget about everything else. It's like, what colors should I paint this guy with so the whole story ties together into one single focal point, which is that face mask. So I'm using right now Space Magenta from AK Interactive, the quick gen washes, because I want to build that color. And by doing this right now, I'm trying to figure out what the heck is this color and what is not. So first of all, I know that he's wearing a 2 combo here. So you see, you have this tunic underneath and then kind of a robe on top of that. So I'm gonna paint this first, and then we're gonna go into the deep recesses down there. What are you guys painting today? What are your approaches to the miniatures that you're painting? Are you like painting something in a particular faction? Are you trying to emulate some paint jobs from, you know, Games Workshop because that's what you consider that should be the paint job? Or are you being creative? Are you trying to do something new, trying some new techniques, maybe rushing the wash, maybe doing layering? Let me know in the comments so I'm doing this correctly. Okay, I'm sure he's based on Moonface of Singe. Probably. That's a very classic miniature. I like how beneath the flagstones is flexing once again his absolute knowledge of all miniatures from the best era of Warhammer, Allhammer and Middlehammer. In this case is an Allhammer miniature. And if you guys don't know which one it is, I might be able to find it, and then I'm gonna show you once I finish a couple of base colors, so I'm on a good tempo, because tomorrow I have to wake up so early. I have another thing to do. So I want this guy done and dusted before it becomes really late. Okay, these sleeves, okay, I'm gonna try to do a 2-color combo. So in order to tie with this, I'm going to go and paint this with space magenta, one sleeve in here, and then I need to go and see where the next one is underneath over here, and then I'm gonna go to this one over here, and then we're gonna go to the, oh wow, that's the worst thing that could happen, is that it has an uneven number of sleeves, sleeves of these small pieces. So right here I'm like at a conundrum, because you see I have 2 of them. So this leaves me maybe one single choice, which is, oh well, I'm not gonna be able to paint it in the 2-color system that I wanted, but I can figure out something later if I may. We'll see. Could be also, you know, there is this idea in Warhammer Fantasy, like the Chaos Circus, okay? And if you think about it, clowns and circuses in particular are an element of mystery and amusement, but also of horror. A lot of people are quite afraid of clowns for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I guess it gives you the heebie-jeebies because they have these paints on the face. So you can recognize them as human, but also as something that is beyond that, something, a persona that is not fully trustworthy. And although they might seem comical on the things that they do, they also are quite chaotic. So that's a little upsetting. All right, let me move the microphone away a little bit so I get more light. All right, so let's see. Charlie Echo is saying, I'm painting sometimes as the box art and sometimes with my own inspiration. What are you painting mostly? Because I see you have, I think it's Marneus Calgar or some Space Marine, an Ultramarine. And then I paint the Wizards of Morkern, but I have to slow down because as a teacher I have a lot of work to do before the holidays. Welcome to the club, man. I'm a teacher as well. We have 2 weeks before the break and I absolutely understand what's going on. There was this meme I saw the other day. The teachers are done teaching, the students are done studying, but the year hasn't stopped yearing. So can we just get to the break already? And let's see. Thomas, you should do the moon like the Chaos Moon from Gotrek and Felix. I can't remember the name though. The Chaos Moon from Gotrek and Felix? Which one is that? I'm quite savvy about Gotrek and Felix, but right now you caught me off guard, so I really don't know which one are you referring to. Okay, here you see this small indentation here. This I believe is part of the mask up to here, but this part in here I think is part of the tunic underneath. I'm gonna paint it like that. Does anybody know the difference between a shirt and a tunic? Can you elaborate? It's like, because it only has buttons up to here, and then it's like a t-shirt with a v-neck and something to just, you know, tie on, or is it something else going on here that I don't know, like t-shirts and polo shirts, you know? So I usually paint Ultramarines and Dungeons and Dragons or Hero Quest. Okay, so Ultramarines, what is your recipe for the Ultramarines color? Because one of the things that I would like to paint one of these days is Ultramarines. First of all, I need to finish the ones from Space Crusade, and then I have something special maybe before painting those that I want to show you guys, but you guys haven't given me the chance yet. But I'll sell it until one of these days we just do it. And then Cosifran, this moon's face remembers me of the Bad Moon Orcs and Goblins. Exactly, that's what I was going to try to paint. Something very yellow to the point of being nauseous. So, a ver. Now, we have that burgundy color underneath, and now it's time to decide what should I do with the other, the tunic that goes over it. This kind of, you know, interesting stuff. I was tempted, and I am tempted to paint it purple, and I have some purple left over from yesterday, but it's not gonna work, is it? And there is a lot of water on my wet palette because I just went overboard putting it, but no fear, because I'm gonna use my towel here and I'm just gonna clean it up. Just gonna clear it up. One of the most clever things that the designers of the lore of Warhammer came up with was the Chaos factions. Because I know it's based off Michael Moorcock's lore, basically, Law and Chaos with Elric of Melniboné. I think that was the main idea. But at the same time, it gives you the edge of having an evil that is not one guy, you know? It's an infinite realm of the possibilities that go with it, with the chaos as an idea, as a concept. Something that is completely, absolutely intertwined to the personality of people. So therefore, you cannot get rid of it. You can only combat it through very difficult means, which is basically as soon as you recognize something that is a little bit heretical, you have to cut it off. And of course, if you start doing that consistently, what happens is that the righteous become the wretched, and then chaos is very difficult to get rid of. So you have to have this almost impossible combination of the ability to distinguish what is evil, the ability to fight what is evil, and then not becoming yourself evil. I just made a purple with 50-50 blue. What was the name? I always forget. Power blue from AK, and then a little bit, also, well, a little bit, 50-50 of magenta. So we're gonna get this deep, rich purple color. Thing is, the first book, some villagers go missing and there is a weird moon out. Okay, that moon that you're talking about is Morsleaf. Now the world of Warhammer has three moons, okay? We have Mansleaf, Morsleaf. Wait, I'm confusing. Is it 2 moons? So it's Mansleaf, Morsleaf, which is the evil one that is basically made of warpstone. And the third one, maybe I'm making it up and I'm confusing it with Dragonlance right now. Do you guys know any astronomy from the world of Warhammer? Maybe I'm getting too many moons here, okay? So let's not discuss about Uranus, by the way. Okay, I need to make a video for my recipe, Charlie Echo. You have a YouTube channel, okay? I do an airbrush base in a dark purplish blue and lighter blues from above, then some washes in the recesses. Okay, so you're basically doing zenithal, but directly with the blue. That's pretty cool because you're gonna get very, very nice gradients if you are careful, and if your paints they are, you know, the right tones of blue. Airbrushes save so much time painting Space Marines. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. If you have a Warhammer 40k army, getting an airbrush is usually a very good idea, because many of the factions actually are sculpted in a way that they have all these small details, but most of the surface is like a power armor or something like that. Even Tyranids are very, very, like, even though they are biological creatures, you can use the same formula. It's a double whammy. Alright, the gold is made with light bronze and an agrax wash. I love doing battle damages. Okay, so you paint a little bit like grimdark, right? And apparently the moon is called Morsleaf, and chaos is strong when it's more visible in the sky. Correct, yes. In Warhammer Fantasy, there is a very cool cover, one of my favorite pieces of art in Warhammer ever, period, okay? That is, there is a witch, not a witch, a white lord and a couple of skeletons, and in the background you have Morsleaf. Huge Morsleaf moon. And what this is basically, okay, let me see if I can figure this out, because this is a very strange tunic going on here. Okay, so this goes to here. I guess I can paint all of these safely, but I can do something here. And this is the cover for Circle of Blood, the campaign from Warhammer Fantasy 5th edition. And when I saw that, well, me as a Vampire Count player, it just told me everything I wanted to know about how the faction should look. That is a beautiful piece of art from, if I'm not mistaken, I think is It's Mark Gibbons. I think it's a Mark Gibbons piece of art, if I'm not mistaken. Look it up, guys. It's called Circle of Moon, and it's a piece of Warhammer art that me, in particular, I will love to own. I even made a huge print that I had in one of my previous studios to have it hanging from the back, and you could see it there, like behind me, in quite few videos actually. My favorite piece of art, believe it or not. Okay, there are many fantastic pieces of art from Warhammer Fantasy, but that one in particular is my holy grail. That's the one. Yeah, I was looking to buy myself a cheap airbrush with an integrated compressor in here, and where I'm living now in Romania, because I don't want to bring my very expensive rig, because first of all, it's heavy. Secondly, you never know, you might end up going somewhere else. You know, I'm an international teacher, so it's one of those things that you never know. Life changes, and when I moved from Malaysia, in Malaysia I stayed for 7 years, and when I moved from Malaysia, I sent a ton of stuff from Malaysia to Spain, and that was a lot of money, just moving all those things. I wouldn't part from any of those, but it's a lot of money. So I was looking for a compressor bundle, you know, one of those cheap nail studios, nail salon type of airbrush. For most of things will work, and more so because I want to paint all the scenery from Kraken Studios for the dungeon. So having a compressor combo with a semi-decent airbrush just will work fantastically well for that type of work. And if it's not fine detail, or if you are just, you know, sometimes we just spend lots of money on things that the margin of difference that you have between that and a professional grade one is almost irrelevant, to a point that you are spending money just on the brand. I have an Iwata, and that was almost $200 back then. It works very well, but I think I can, for the things that I do, I can do exactly the same type of work with a cheap $50 one. See? For fingernails. Yeah, I was checking them out. I was checking them out like a week ago, but because it's gonna be the break soon and I'm gonna go back to Spain, I decided that I would rather wait until I come back from the holidays and make sure that I'm here to pick it up from Amazon. So that's one of the things that just made me pause that buying. Okay, how's it? Here there is a little bit of detail that I want to get to. Here's the second, guys. Okay, I like this purple that came up today. It's very rich, dark bluish. I think it sells the idea that I'm trying to achieve here. And now is the gloves and these bands, and I want to go with something that is striking, and I'm gonna paint some runes in these, like evil runes. But because this color is only there, what I'm going to do, and something that I very usually do, is I want to have like a triangle of factors. So we have the tunic, which is the main body, and I think we're gonna paint the gloves and also the shoes, these shoes that he's wearing, which are very funny looking. I like them. So that way we're gonna tie the whole paint job together, not put too many colors that will be distracting, and just make sure that the miniature looks coherent and also sells the idea without stealing from the main area that is gonna be the moon face. Let's see how it looks. Let me see. So same for the varnish. More overspray can make the minis sticky. Yes, the new HeroQuest minis don't like the spray can mini. Yes, you're right. I remember people complaining about that, and I remember I got some Reaper Bones miniatures. I don't know if you guys know the brand. The Bones resin is not resin. It's kind of like a soft plastic. It's a very interesting thing. I really like it for a couple of reasons. First of all, it holds detail very well. It looks the part. They look like metal miniatures. And then secondly, it is ultra soft and squishy. Not ultra, but very soft and squishy. Not what you will find on miniatures. Which for players, for people who use the miniatures to play, it is fantastic feature. More so if you are dealing with people who are not used to playing with miniatures and they don't know how many hours you spend. They don't understand how many hours you spend painting the miniatures. So if you have something that is like that, you basically can drop them, they are painted and they will bounce back and no problem, nothing will happen, no chips, nothing. They are ultra resilient. But if you rattle can them, if you paint with a rattle can on top of them, then we got a problem, because they will become sticky to the point that it will be bothersome just to hold them, and to the point that if they touch anything that has some kind of hair or dust or something like that, it will stick to them. And that happened to me painting a couple of wood elves that I bought, and that wasn't fun, because I needed to I actually had to strip them and paint by hand the color that I wanted them to be from the base. I was priming all my miniatures back then with I think it was olive green from Testors, just to get the green that I wanted from the beginning. And then that screwed me up on that miniature in particular, because I learned my lesson fast. All right, see what I'm talking about? We are getting that triangle of color. That's what I was looking for. So we got 1, 2, 3. You see, this is gonna create that. Is that like a double whammy triangle? So you have one here, which actually accidentally ties very well with the symbol that he's wearing over here, like that star. All right. And this wash, the consistency, it's amazing, because it's getting with the how do you call that, the zenithal priming is giving me already a lot of volume readability, so that is looking just great. There we are. Let me just get it tonight. So I think the plastic on the HeroQuest minis is very similar to that. I'm not sure if it's a PVC plastic or something like that. I'm not a chemist, I'm not a specialist on that, but I know that some plastics react badly with the solvents in the rattle cans, so you have to be very careful. And when they say, yeah, test it on a couple of miniatures before doing anything, they are absolutely right. The pros, the people who made the miniatures and whatnot, when they say test it, okay, do test it. And it becomes very dangerous, and I talk about this all the time. There are all these type of things that I say over and over again. If you get a bad batch of varnish, spray varnish, and you varnish your miniatures and it fogs, or they become sticky or something like that, or they become too shiny or something like that, you know, after you paint the miniatures, after you spend some hours doing something, okay, and it might be looking like super cool, you are like super happy with the paint job, and then all of a sudden that thing screws the whole paint job in 5 minutes. It is very, 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 very annoying. Very annoying. I remember one case in particular for me. I painted a Tyrion, the old 4th edition Tyrion. You know, Tyrion and Teclis, the high elf on the horse. Beautiful. Hola, primo, ¿qué tal estás? Ni hao ma, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? I got the paint job sorted out. It looked very good. I was using quite a lot of chestnut ink back then, and I just put some varnish on the miniature. This was not a spray, by the way. It was just by hand, by brush. Reactivated the ink, and the ink started rolling down the miniature, and I was just ballistic. I went completely like super ballistic. I got super angry at it. So yeah, you have to be very careful with that. All right, it's getting to the point where I cannot avoid this area already. So now I need to think how to paint these things so we get the contrast, but we still keep it within the theme. And I'm gonna crack something open, okay? Vamos allá. I showed you this before, and it's so cool because it gives me ideas. This is the... Okay, let me just zoom out a little bit. This is why I always telling you guys, these paints are giving you so much for the value, okay? The price is right, the quality of the paints is unparalleled, and now it also has this thing, which by the way, okay, you can take it out, cut it. Well, I still keep the box, I don't know, I like it, it's cool. So, alright, we have this, see, we are around here, we are in this area, boom. Okay, so what can I do between these two? I can go and I think it's here where we are more than anything. I can, or maybe here, yeah, that's why it's working. 1, 2, and then we can go with greens and yellows. Yellows we're gonna get for sure, but greens, they sound a little bit risky unless I do them in very specific places. Let me see if you guys, it's like a lime green, okay, it's in between the yellow and the green, so I can do that if I'm careful, or I'm just gonna stick to the details on the base. I don't want to be too garish. So what can I do with those details? A ver, déjame mirar. Esto, 1, 2, 3, 4, vale. If it's not working with that, we should be doing it like a triangle maybe. So yeah, it's gonna be yellow for sure, okay, something around that. But what do you guys think? Ciao Charlie, have to go. Okay, take care man, thank you for passing by. A ver. I'm thinking and trying to figure out. Safest way is just to stick to something that is neutral, like some black, just paint it black and give it. But then I cannot paint those things. If I go full red, it doesn't look right. And if I go yellow, I could make it like another triangle between this and this and this. If I painted yellow, I know where I'm gonna put the green accents is gonna be probably here in this. I'm gonna paint them as gems, so we're gonna get that green there. But then the armor and then these things. Okay, here, let me see. The armor I'm gonna paint it metallic, rusty kind of, so it looks used, battered. The belt I'm gonna paint it black, so it doesn't distract from the whole mini. These bands I still need to think, so I'm gonna stick now to the metallics. Let's do the metallics in the meantime. A ver, let me just get closer. Okay, and I'm gonna drink a little bit of water if you guys don't mind, because I told you I'm thirsty.
And now that kid has wrinkles around the stars in his eyes.
Okay, hydrate yourself, kid. Bueno, let me do something. Voy a ver si puedo hacerlo, okay? Let me just do something. Let me do just something. Esto fuera, and we said moon face. A ver, let me see if I can find him. Moon face, Herohammer. A ver, aha, I see now. I see the mini. It's similar idea to what I got here, and he's got a free hand. Let me see if I can show you guys. Okay, just give me a second, but I need to actually show my screen, and I don't know how to do that yet, because window capture, properties, and I think I need to this one. Okay, there we are. Let's see if I can move this to this one. Okay, I can move this to this one. You guys can see my screen, yes? Can I suppose move this to this one? You guys can see my screen, yes? And in this one to this one. You guys can see my screen, yes? And in this one to this one. You guys can see my screen, yes? And in this one to this one. You guys can see my screen, yes? And in this one to this one. You guys can see my screen, yes? And in this one to this one. You guys can see my screen, yes? And in this one to this one. You guys can see my screen, yes? You guys can see my screen, yes? A ver, let's see if it works now. No? Yes? God dang it, it went off. But that's the guy, okay? That's the guy. This night is a freaky night in the Roxbury. Alright, and I don't know how to show this properly, but I'm gonna try again. Let me see if I can. Let me just go window capture properties. Let's see if it works now, and let's see transition and show my screen if it wants to. No, it doesn't want to. I think you guys cannot see it. Audio loop when that screen was active. Oh, okay, so let me just double do this. Alright, I'm just gonna go back to the painting, but that's the guy, okay? That's the guy that he was talking about. So, is the sound correct now? Is it okay now? Is there anything weird going on now? Or is it proper now? Let me hear before I start painting, because once I start painting, then that's a woozy already. Voices from Disformity. The Choir of Miguel. The Choir of Miguel's. Sailor Moon. Oh my god, don't make me laugh, then I get asthma, okay? Alright. Anyways, let's get back to the painting here. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with this, but I saw that this other miniature has some blue. And has, well, Zinch goes all over the place. It has the green, it has blue, it has several different things here. So I could risk it and painted a very light blue and see what happens. Like a, I don't know how to say it, like a ethermatic blue kind of blue, but I need to figure out if I can do it, okay? Now, moons, okay? Once again, this figure has a lot of symbolism, and moons are, you know, in some cases, in some mythologies, in some instances of how we tell stories and whatnot, a moon is a symbol of madness. And if you are into Warhammer, we were talking about Morse but also, okay, also the goblins, the night goblins in particular, night goblins, they have the bad moon symbol, and that gives you already a hint, an idea of what it's already inside the lore. And the lore is not accidental. Nothing is accidental when you think about this in the way I think about things. Is that you don't choose certain symbols just for the sake of having the symbol. The symbol means something in your own society, in your own psyche, in your own maybe religion or ideology, or even the way that you think about the universe. And when you are designing something in a fantasy world, you will tend to go to those symbols by default, because they are figments of something that is greater. And moons symbolize many things, but they also symbolize somewhat madness. That's why lycanthropy is tied to the moon. That's why we have the word lunatic, you know, somebody that is bound to the moon and becomes crazy by looking at it. So it's no wonder that a Chaos Cultist will be wearing a moon face, because it actually makes absolute sense. And I think it's appealing in this figure, not only because of the sculpture, which is quite good, but because of that, because you know that this guy is up to no good. It is easy to recognize this guy as somebody that will be the antagonist of a group of good adventurers, because of exactly that same reason. That guy is up to no good, for sure. Nobody wears a moon face just by doing that. And the goblins, the night goblins, obviously, night goblins living in caves. I don't know why they actually need to consider to be called night goblins, beyond the fact that they cannot go out during the day. And that's why I think they are fine with the moon. Whereas the orcs, they worship the evil sun. So you have those two different factions within the same army, which is funny, because if you think about it a little bit, you know, from the perspective of how they will conduct war, it doesn't make sense, because the orcs will not be able to function as well as the goblins in the same parameters. The goblins will be quite efficient during nighttime because they are used to living in the dark. The orcs maybe as well, but they probably would like to fight as well during the daytime, which is when humans will be more active for them to fight, because orcs like fighting. Okay, let's see. This guy is Monday personified. He's extra ruthless when you drank too much or on Sunday evening. You mean this guy? This guy with the with the moon face, or me as a teacher? I tell you, I'm Monday personified. When you come to Monday to school, say, hey guys, we have a lesson. Oh my god, Mr. Miguel, can we watch a YouTube video? No way. It's not happening. We are not that time of the year. It's exam week, so you have to deal with it. I'm sorry. Yeah. I was such a bad student. I'm thinking about it. I was such a bad student. And what did karma have for me? Well, you're a bad student. I guess, Mr. Miguel, you're gonna become a teacher and see how the world works when you are at the other side of the room. Funny how karma works. Very funny. Or not. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's see. Is he wearing... This belt has a few details that I need to retouch later. And also here. But I'm gonna go... That's where I'm gonna go a little bit overboard, actually. Okay, these things... Vamos a ver. I'm gonna risk it all. I'm gonna go and risk it all. So, we have the moon. We're gonna start working with the moon, and I think I'm gonna go yellow with both the moon and these things. Okay, the belt we'll see later, but I'm gonna go yellow. Now for this yellow, I'm gonna do the trick. What's the trick? The trick is getting some magenta, although my yellow has plenty of red on it. Very diluted magenta, like this. If the camera decides to look at it or not, or yes, this camera is not cameraing today. Okay, this is how diluted it's gonna be, and I'm gonna do a very quick wash, and I need it even more diluted, so it goes into those recesses. We're gonna give that base coat to the face. First of all, it's gonna help me read the volumes very easily, so I can see what's going on, although I have that already from the zenithal priming, but now it's even more pronounced. And this magenta, then when the yellow is gonna combine with it, I think it's gonna do a fantastic job. Let's see if it works. Okay, bear with me. And that share my screen other layout, I need to figure out, because if there is echo, it's because it's reading some audio from somewhere. So I haven't set up the settings as I wanted them to be set up. I guess this weekend I'm gonna have time to play a little bit more with all these streaming layouts and get some extra features that I wanted to do, like some kind of memes or whatever, because I'm finding it quite fun to do this. And I want to do it even better every time that I connect with you guys. Okay, now of course it's gonna look, this is the blah face, okay, as usual. It's like, I'm not really loving it. It's that moment where the miniature is losing character rather than gaining it. Because it's very easy at the beginning, when you start, we just put a couple of colors, it's like, okay, we're going somewhere. But this is the moment where you put way too many colors and it's like, I don't know where I'm going anymore. But if you trust the process and if you push, we're gonna get to the place we want to go to. So, vale. Very light glaze with this magenta, but now I need it to dry. So it's gonna suck for a little while. It's not gonna look great for a little while, but that's fantastic because I don't really mind. Now is where we do the famous, patented ice yellow. Ooh, that looks weird right there. That looks weird. Okay. Patented yellow step. Let's get it sorted out. A ver, ¿dónde estamos? What do you guys think? Is a crescent moon like this, more sinister than a full moon? Is there something that makes it look, I don't know, more evil or sinister? Something is going there. Like, for instance, like, you know what I mean? It's like the full moon, yeah? I think everybody likes the full moon, but the full moon shows you everything. Shows you everything. It's like, that's it. There is nothing hidden. But the crescent only shows you enough to know that something is there. It's like, you know, I'm here, but you don't know what it is. And the moon is so interesting because it's one of those things that it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Did the eye yellow? No, the eye yellow. You need to get it. You need to get it. So you need to get it. No, there is no discussion about it. Did it come in the starter set? No, you need to get it. Sorry. Should I buy eye yellow? Yes. Should I get other colors instead of eyes? No, just get eyes yellow. You need eyes yellow, okay? If I don't know why this color works so well for so many things, but eyes yellow is the tits. You need to have eyes yellow. Everybody needs eyes yellow in their lives. So I'm gonna paint it like a pattern here. Now I don't know if you noticed, but the highlights are not gonna be straight today, because this way I might create a little bit of texture, hopefully. This X pattern. Everybody needs eyes yellow in their lives. So as I was saying, the moon is such an interesting thing because from what I understand, from what I read, from what I know, it is in the exact distance, the absolute exact distance, that when you get a full eclipse, it's just the same size as the sun. Although they are not the same size, of course. The sun is orders of magnitude way bigger than the moon. And it's also, I think it's 1 degree, if I'm not mistaken, or half a degree of the full sky. So you can basically count the degrees of sky by just looking at one moon and say, okay, so if I put 20 moons in this direction, that's going to be 20 degrees or 40 degrees. I'm not really sure right now what is the ratio. Okay, it is at the right distance to you know, help with the tides. It's a magical shield basically for Earth. It just deflects so many things coming our way and just will catch the moon. And it is also static in its orbit towards the Earth. You only see one face. It never moves. It is crazy because in order to achieve all these things together, it's like basically somebody put it there in that sense. You know, it's like an artificial system meant for things to happen on Earth. And if you want to go deep into the rabbit hole of these things, Alejandro, ¿cómo estás? If you really want to go deep into the rabbit hole of things about the moon, there was this conspiracy theory that they said that they sent, I think it was the Americans, they sent something to the moon, and when it hit the moon, or the Russians, I'm not really sure, when they hit the moon, the sound that they recorded on that probe meant that it actually was hollow. Now, of course, they also say that this is bad data, that never happened, etc., etc. But it's one of those stories that you listen to it, like listening like a podcast or something like that, and it's like, that's weird. And there's also this movie. I think there is a movie that was not released long ago that explores into the idea that the moon is actually a hollow artifact put in there, and what we see is the shield outside of it just destroyed by the meteorites. So a ver, we'll see, Cosifran, a ver si la textura se deja o solo no se deja hacer después de que lee, after we glaze it and then we get those colors working for us. A ver. And here we need to go a little bit higher on the highlights because then we're gonna glaze it, and this is gonna be yellow. So alright. So Moonface. Moonface is giving a lot of conversation today, more than Wood Elf yesterday. But a ver. this technique of drawing small stripes, it might look difficult, but it's actually not that difficult. The way that I learned how to do this was I used to draw quite a lot. So you just get this fine motor skill, which is this, and once you get the knack of it, it is very easy to do. And it's quite useful for things like this, what we are trying to achieve here, which is gonna, after we glaze it, hopefully, is gonna look the way that I'm expecting it to look, which is giving the fabric texture, as if it's made of a very thick thread. A ver, we'll see if that happens. A ver si pasa. A ver. Jandro, ¿qué estás pintando? Gendram here. Alejandro. He's a professional painter. Professional commission painter. And he paints very fast. Very cool stuff. So I'm always looking forward to what he posts. If he finishes some armies. Whatever. He's way more consistent than I am in the approach of painting, because he has to be. As a professional painter for big armies, he has to be. So if you can find him on Instagram, you will see some of his cool stuff that he does as a commission painter from Spain. So check him out if you can. Also, he's a nice guy, so he's a super nice guy, so worth a follow. You know, there are lots of decent people in this world, and many of us are actually painting miniatures. Yes, I'm including myself on that, because why the hell not? And I also want to know, how is the Stompa going? So are we moving somewhere with that? Yeho. Please post your minis on my YouTube channel. I want to see them finish it. I know you probably guys are posting them on Instagram or whatnot, but if you post them on my YouTube channel, there is the community tab. If you post them there, I'm gonna be for sure able to see them, because I check my channel every day. Instagram, sometimes. And I always end up going down the rabbit hole of stupid videos and laughing at cats and things like that. So, believe it or not, although I follow painters, I end up watching more videos about all kinds of random things and more Instagram posts about all kinds of random things. So, close to finished. Well, whenever you get it already finished, please post it so we can see it. And of course, beneath the flagstones, if you can, okay, show us some stuff over there. I will make sure that every now and then I'll post your channel. I don't mind my traffic going somewhere else. I honestly really don't care. But I really like seeing things. So if you can post some of those dungeons of yours and make us drool, that's greatly appreciated. But my wallet will hate you also. So proceed carefully with that, please, because you know I need to save money for retirement. I'm a teacher. I'm never gonna be rich. So I'm never gonna make the big bucks. Oh yeah. A ver. Okay, let's go here. Let's highlight this guy, and then we'll see what happens. I wish I had over here right now. My yellow will work. I don't mind using this yellow, but I would rather honestly have Bad Moon Yellow. Bad Moon Yellow, which is the contrast paint, which is almost pure lemon yellow. And the one that I have here, it contains a little bit of orange, so it might not work exactly as expected. I want this thing to be absolutely neon yellow, like super strong yellow. And for that, I think I'm gonna end up doing some mixing of the paint after we do this step. We'll see. I might have to get my yellow over there, crack it open. This one, I'm talking about this one, okay? The AK one that comes on the base set, this guy, deep yellow, and maybe mix a little bit of white or see what we can do with it as it is. But first things first, let's get this thing sorted out as he is right now. Let's see. Super strident highlights. As usual, don't be afraid. You will fix it immediately. Remember, this is the blah moment that I don't like what is happening. But don't fight it. It's part of the process, okay? It's like in the gym when you get the pump. Before you get the pump, it sucks. It's always like that. Before you get the pump, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm knackered. And then something kicks on and boom, you are lifting heavier, you're having fun. And then of course you get out and you go home, eat something and you crash. That's the way it is. But you know the process, you enjoy the process already because you've done it so many times. You just know the reward is right there. So just do it, okay? It's the same here. Don't stop it. Don't stop painting. Just keep painting and finish it off, and then you get the satisfaction of getting this mini on the table, ready tomorrow to play games. If you go to the community tab on YouTube, you can see that there is like a forum. If I'm not mistaken, I saw people posting pictures before. It hasn't worked since then, or people haven't posted pictures. So if it's not working, let me know, because I need to figure it out if there is some settings that have changed or whatever. YouTube does crazy things all the time. I wish I was rich. I don't know. I don't know if I want money. I want what I can do with money, which is buy my own time. That will be cool. You know, I don't need too many things. I'm quite happy. I'm actually the happiest I am is when I spend time in the mountains in Asturias, when I can go to the fields and cut grass or do the small things like chopping wood or fixing something in the house. I just enjoy that way more than anything, and I don't think money will buy that for me. But buying me time to actually do the things that I really want to do, that will be fantastic, because at the end of the time, the most valuable commodity that we guys have is time. Nothing else matters. Nothing else. If you have time to spend with your family, with your friends, to do things good for you, to cook, to go to the gym, to go run, to go for a walk, to travel to places, that is it. That's it. We tend to forget that. We tend to forget that this is like a fighting game where you have 99 seconds to beat the opponent, and the opponent is death, okay? So that's where you have to do things. Okay, vamos a ver cómo estamos. Let me see. Focus. Okay, we have the highlights in here. We have some highlights in here. And now is the moment of truth. We need to start darkening those areas and getting some things happening in there. Now, for this in particular, I want my magenta to be a little bit richer. A little bit. So I have to do two things. First of all, I'm gonna use it pure as it is. Alright? And we're gonna go and glaze that. This is pure magenta, no water down. Okay, see the difference? Okay, we got that desaturation going back to the vibrancy that we were having at the beginning. I'm painting a classic while I watch. ¿Qué estás pintando, Corsi? A ver, cuéntanos. What is the classic thing that you're painting? Very curious. Anything that is classic is welcome for me. Just let me know, because once again, I hate you guys when you tell me like, oh, I have this miniature. God dang it. Sorcerer of Chaos of Talisman. The Talisman Chaos Sorcerer, the one with the... Is he like a wand like this? Something like that? Let me just... Okay, just give me a second. A ver, Chaos... Un momento. Let me see. A ver. Chaos Sorcerer Talisman. Yes, it is this one. Yeah. It's wonky as heck. Okay, let's try again. Alright, let me do this. And then let's try not to have echo. A ver, let me see. Let me see. This guy. It's this guy, right? I love those minis. I love the wonkiness of those minis. They are just, the proportions are all over the place. They are just like, I don't know. I like the witch elf. I like the thief. I like all the halfling. I like all the miniatures from that time. They are so cool, such cool stuff. Cause I don't know, they remind me of my childhood with miniatures. That special relationship that you build with something that you really like when you are younger, and that's gonna stay there forever. So anything like that, I'm happy to paint. And because of the proportions, because they are all over the place. Look at that. Look at those hands. Look at those hands. They look like freaking toy hands, you know. And I don't know, it's just exaggerated. It's just way too exaggerated. So I love those miniatures. They are so cool and wonky. So fantastic stuff indeed. Okay, now see, look at the fabric now. We have the fabric pattern in there. I still need to get some more contrast here, but that's gonna happen next when I use, can you guys guess what I'm gonna use? Let's see if you got it. I'm pretty sure you guys already know what I'm gonna use, right? By now you should know. What is it? Starts with D. I see somebody voted in the chat. There is a 9% vote. A little bit. No, it's an 8% now. That the Chaos guys are bad guys. Sorry, that the Chaos guys are Dragonhof Nightshade. There you go, correcto. That they, somebody's voting that the Chaos guys are not bad. You know, they just misunderstood. You are everything wrong with society, my man. So you are everything wrong with society nowadays. You know, he's just misunderstood. He might. Oh, he's eating babies, but you should listen to his side of the story. No, mate, he's eating babies. Okay, there is no other side of the story. Maybe I'm Chaos. Maybe I am, but I don't know. I think most of my values are probably in the right side of things. I have this suspicion. I might make mistakes like everybody else, but you know, traffic ticket and eating babies, they are two different things. Chaos, you know, they don't do the right things. They might sell you the appeal of what you can get by doing those things, but no sé, eh? No sé. All right, Dragonhof Nightshade. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Yes. Aha. Ah, yes. Me gusta. I think it's gonna look good. There we go. Let's glaze it properly. These highlights are a little too much. Let's glaze it properly. And here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. There it is. What a cool mini, what a cool concept. What a cool sculpt. Simple, the typical, you know, this guy pointing, holding a big ass weapon, pointing somewhere. That's all you need. It tells you the whole story. He's not gonna do his job yet. He's gonna send people to do the job. And he's just waiting for the heroes to go through his minions, and he will say probably something like, pathetic, you know, like in Mad Max. And then he's gonna go and give some proper lessons about the teachings of his gods with here his big friend. this is the easiest concept ever, and it just looks right. It looks fantastic. It tells you the story. It tells you the story. A ver. Sí, señor. Okay. Whilst that is drying, let's get a little bit here. And a little bit here. And a little bit here. So we deepen it, and here. Deepen it, tie all together. Bam, profit. Bam, pure profit. Okay, bueno. Time to work with the metals a little bit, or maybe get straight into the yellow. I think I'm gonna do the yellow first, and then we can do the metals, because I wanted to sell me the character that he is. Excusez-moi. A ver, let me see. Why will a Chaos Cultist look so well dressed, you know, like an imperial noble? The exaggerated sleeves, the slash fabric, the flamboyant color and silhouettes, you know, the clothing that shows wealth. It's used, it's cut. So maybe he's like a nobleman that has fallen on his favor from whoever is, you know, the big person in the area. But is why does the Empire dress like this when it's, you know, constantly being attacked by mutants, undead, radmen? Okay, why are they wearing such flamboyant clothes? Why is this culture? If you look at it from the perspective of the real world, okay, why will these people be wearing clothes like that? Because if you're thinking of it, it's like you are always in the brink of being run over by a band of mutants or something weird coming from the depths of your city's sewage system. Why would you be wearing such clothes? Shouldn't you be a little bit more grim? So what do you guys think? Alright, let's do the yellow wash on top of it and then see what happens. This is the moment of truth here. We're gonna get the reward that I'm thinking that we're gonna get, or are we gonna like go disappointed? Oh, not really. Let's see. So far, I'm not hating it, honestly. So far, I'm not hating it at all. Let's see how it interacts with each other. And now, let's try this. I'm actually like, I like this pinkish tone. What do you guys think? Should I go yellow or just leave it pinkish and then go with an extra white highlight and write some runes on that? Tell me. Because I'm thinking now, I'm changing my plans. I like this accent here, but I'm thinking if I paint all over this, it's gonna be way too much. What do you guys think? Should I leave it like that, give it that extra white highlight, paint some runes with refer to color wheel. Yes, but in this case it doesn't work because this is gonna be a very close to white. So I'm just trying to find the contrast is gonna be good between this and the dark blue areas. So I'm thinking about it like not going too much. Okay, yeah, leave it, makes the face pop. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's just pointing at the face without telling you yellow, 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 yellow. It's just, oh look, follow this and then boom, yellow. That's exactly what I'm thinking as well. Alright, I think I'm gonna leave it like this. You'll see later, I'm gonna retouch it. You can do a warm, cool compliment. I think so. I think you guys are right. I think you are absolutely correct. So I'm just gonna see. Okay, let me just try that. Let me just go First of all, I'm gonna risk it all, and I'm gonna do some highlights with this yellow. This yellow is much different to the other one. I'll show you now. See? My palette is not clean. This is the yellow that I'm using for the wash. It has a lot of red. You can see it in the orangey tint. And this is pure paint. This is not a wash. So it's deep yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna get my detail brush, get this paint in the consistency that I want it to be, you know, the one that looks more or less like that. And whilst this is still wet, I'm gonna see if I can do some highlights in here and there, just to clean up a little bit. This is still wet, so I get a wet blending area. Tip of the nose. Okay, here. And after that dries, so I needed to let it dry, otherwise it's gonna go with the capillarity into the crevices, and I don't want that. Are Citadel paints reasonably priced in that country? No, they are not reasonably priced anywhere. Their cost is usually, I would say, 1.5 to twice the price of other brands. It depends if you are getting whole starter sets or whatnot. Usually, if they are quite good value, quantity wise, and they are good value because of the quality. They are good paints, Citadel paints, honestly. They do their job. You cannot say they are not good, and they have a huge range. You have many colors and you can use them for everything. But the best thing that they have is their marketing, because they have been in the market for so long, and when you go and start in this hobby, you go quite often to a place where they're selling Games Workshop stuff. You're gonna find the paints, and it's very easy for you to live with it. Starter set paints and a box of miniatures. So that's why you start to get familiarized with them. Then you like the pots because that's what you get used to. So they are not reasonably priced anywhere, but they do their job quite well, I might say. However, once I tried other brands, and I was always a big fan of Citadel stuff, okay? Once I started trying other brands, then I saw, wait a minute here. This is actually quite good. And my pocket is not suffering as much. And you know what? I think I can do the same with less. And also, eyedropper bottles, they are not becoming crusty when I leave my country for a few months and I come back and I want to paint. So I was saving money on buying them, I was saving money on replacing them because I wasn't, and then that's it. A lot of people like Army Painter as well. Me personally, I find them a little bit too matte, a little bit too... They don't have this pop that this for instance, AK has exactly the thing I'm looking for. It's like whenever you put a paint, it's like it will hit you in the face, you know. It's that type of thing. I painted with those. I have a video where I actually test them for painting a Dwarf Slayer and some Night Goblins, and they do the job, but I don't know, there's something lacking on them for me. There is something lacking. And a lot of people complain about the consistency of the paints. Oh my gosh, come on, focus on that. A lot of people complains about the consistency of the paints when they get them out of a pot. Is maybe because they are not mixing them well, or maybe the formula is decanting and the medium where the pigment is mixed is, I don't know, it's not working properly. So I have Vallejo ink range to help with that. Yes, yeah, haha. If you have inks, you're cheating then, because inks will do that. Inks will just a little coat of ink on some paints and then they completely change. Because when I did that thing, when I was in quarantine in KL, in Kuala Lumpur, I was painting with cheap craft paints. I think it was folk art or something like that, and you paint with those, and okay, they do the job. You figure out how they react with the brush and how much you can push them until they start breaking apart. But as soon as I started painting with them, it was like, it's missing something. There is no vibrancy. I got some inks. I think they were Daily Brownie, no, or Liquitex. They were Liquitex, and then it was like, boom! All the vibrancy came. Just a little bit of a wash with green or red, and then it was like, wow! Immediately you got that vibrancy. It's like, all right. So I guess I can paint with any paint as long as I have inks. Because if I have inks, I can do whatever. But basically, if you have inks, you can rush the wash. You don't need that many paints, you know? You can figure out how to do it and don't need to buy that many paints. Okay, a ver qué más tengo que hacer. Let me see. Now we're gonna go to white. So we get those fine point details here and there. But before I should be doing something else. So let's get some Agrax Earthshade. And we're gonna wash the metals. And after we wash the metals, whilst they're drying, we're gonna do something else. So I'm gaining some time here by doing a step that I will have to do later. And I think, because this is missing something, you guys probably notice that I'm missing one of the 90s colors here. Red. It has to have some red somewhere, okay? The red era wasn't called the red era for no reason. There was red always in the miniatures. And I think one of the explanations that they gave why this was happening is because red showed very well on pictures, and it gave the miniatures the oomph that they wanted to have them on the magazines, on White Dwarf. Now, I'm speaking from memory, and my memory is notoriously bad, okay? So don't quote me on this, but I think that was one of the reasons why red was so prevalent in the miniatures in the 90s, because there was no internet. They had to show the produce on White Dwarf, and of course they wanted to show it in the best light possible, and red just worked for that. But red was notoriously difficult to paint with the paints back then, because it was one of those colors that it didn't cover well until they got the formula right. Nowadays, all paints work quite well. I mean, the technology on this has advanced so much that the kids nowadays, if you explain to them how difficult it was to paint miniatures back in the day, they will look at you as if you're talking about, you know, we listen to music on cassettes. So yeah, that kind of memory. Yeah, you know cassettes. We used to play video games from cassettes. So yeah, believe it or not. What are you even talking about, the granddad? Yeah, I know. Hey guys, do you know that the year 2000 was 26 years ago? How does that make you feel? Okay, when it was the 2000s, I was 20 something. It has passed more time from 2000 until now than it had passed from when I was born to 2000. If that doesn't make you feel old, I don't know. Welcome to the club. Anyways, so we stop being demoralized. Let's get back to this guy over here. So I was telling you, I like that pinkish tone, but we need to push that edge. So now from ice yellow, that was the last highlight, I need to go and do pure white. Edge highlights. Older. There's a Balrog. Yeah. An evil spirit from the ancient world. You shall not pass. Okay. There we go. This is kind of like painting an MM, okay, right now. Let me just try to focus it a little bit closer. Yesterday we did that NMM with the blade of the elf, but here is the same idea. We're gonna try to paint it as somehow silk, and silk has this metallic shine. So what I'm doing here is I know that in this area the light is gonna hit the hardest. Right here in this area, and I know that you guys cannot see it properly because I have my f-stop too high, so I'm gonna lower it. It's gonna look quite dark, but that way you can see what I'm trying to achieve here. So here is where the light is gonna be hitting, and then you have immediately after that a little bit of shade, and in here is the same thing. You see, I'm gonna show you the light is gonna be hitting here. And I need to wet my brush a little bit because otherwise it's not going to work as intended. That's why you need to have water close by. So the light is going to hit here and here, and it's going to go and do this. There we are. That's what I was looking for. And now, once again, the light is going to be hitting here. Okay. And I'm going to recover now my f-stop so you guys can see properly. And I'm going to go here. So we repeat the process of painting. Basically is like a blade, a bent blade, but I'm trying to get some of that shine that you will get with metal. I'm gonna risk it a little bit, do the usual last highlight in some areas. Okay, and then we're gonna go here. A ver. Cozy Fran, older as a Balrog. Man, time flies, eh? That's another thing. When you're young, it feels like time goes slower, but it really doesn't. What is happening is that you don't have the frame to actually compare it to anything else. So when you are 6 years old, you have lived only 6 summers. So 6, 7, you know. The summer that you have ahead of you feels like a freaking lot of time because your frame is 1/4 of the year, and you just lived, basically you live 1.5 years in the summer, okay, since until then. Out of 6 years is 1/4 of your life, almost. No, my maths are a little bit off. It's not 1/4, it's is 1/6 of it. I mean, what? Somebody with a calculator, but I think you guys getting my idea here. But as soon as you start hitting years, as soon as you start moving beyond the 25 in your age, your framework is much larger, so everything by comparison is much shorter, and all of a sudden you find yourself like looking back and it's like, holy crap, what happened? I know I mean, back in the day a whole weekend felt like a lot of time. You could do so much stuff, whereas nowadays my weekend is I get home, I take a nap, and I wake up and I'm back at work. I don't even know what happened. Okay, maybe in between there are some groceries or something going on in there, like, you know, I go have a drink with a friend, but the weekend is gone like so freaking fast. It's amazing. So you get the older you get, the less time it feels you have, which is a double tragedy, but it is what it is. Yeah, weekends feel short all the time. Shorter and shorter. You'll see. You're still young, Danny. You'll see. Cada vez más cortas. Es horrible. Okay, un poco aquí. Now, let's get to this face and do that. This is pure white now. No fear. This eye. Without screwing it up. A little bit of a highlight here. A little bit highlight here.
It's time to color it up. Beyond Beyond the gray, beyond the noise, there are distant lands of
Un
plastic
poquito,
and
just a little bit,
grass,
not too much.
where heroes rise,
I need to paint the eyes. The eyes, once again, the focal point of any miniature. Any figure, basically.
and we become kids again.
There's a funny noise coming from outside. It's like a bird squeaking, and it has been doing it the whole time that I have been painting. I don't know what the heck it is. As soon as I finish the stream, I'm gonna go try to figure out what the heck is it. This is doing pew, and I have no idea what it is. Not annoying, but I never heard that before. Once again, here we're gonna go through the highlight like we did with the elf yesterday. We decide one line and we stick to that line with the small highlight. Not all over the place, just here, because it's more realistic, it's less work as well, and it just feels right. Un poco aquí, un poco aquí. A ver, focus on there, thank you. There's a bubble here, I think. Un poco aquí y un poco aquí. And let's see. Here. Yeah, aquí. And the glove as well. Okay. A ver, aquí. Aquí y aquí. A ver. And just a little bit over here. Not overdo it, Miguel. Be careful. But if I screw it, I can glaze it again. Not a problem. Alright. Did you guys try posting any pictures? Did it work? Let me know, because then I can fix it if it didn't work. Or I can try to figure out a way to fix it. I'm gonna highlight these small knots that he has on the helmet. On the mask. And we'll see how we glaze them. Okay, and now this other part. Alright. Bueno, no está mal. It's almost done. Honestly, it's getting quite close to be finished. Finding the places that I want them to look more neat. Go a little bit more on the highlight here. Okay, alright. And this one.
Roll the dice, open the gate, light the torch before it's late. Brush in hand, heart awake, every mistake is ours to make. Neon skies and Celtic fire, rusted blades and painted wire. Old school magic, loud and true. One more quest for me and you.
Aha, haha. That's it. A ver. How does it look like? Is it okay? I need to push something else before I start doing the details with the metals. I think the lip here. A little bit more. Ah, don't go there. No, no, no. Ah! It did exactly what I didn't want it to do, which is going into the recess. No way. Not there. Not there. The recess has to be dark. Alright, let me just sharpen up my brush. Lick it a little bit, get some special paint on my tongue, sharpen it. A ver. And now let's try again. Let's try again. Need to put my face close to it, and it's not focusing because of that. Let's see if I can actually, like, putting myself a little bit farther away. Okay. A ver. Y aquí. Ok, vale. Uy. Ok. It's still drying here. the Drakenhof Knight, the Drakenhof Knight, the RX Earthshade. So whilst that is drying, I'm gonna retouch other areas. And no, actually I'm gonna do oh my god, sorry. I'm gonna do Ultramarines Blue runes. Fun stuff, fine detail. Vamos a ver. And I can actually work with it and do some other things. Like whenever I see somewhere where this dark blue didn't do its job properly, I can darken it a little bit more. Like here, there is some intrusion of the... Show up, come on. And let me just hold this properly. There is some intrusion of the magenta into the glove. So I'm gonna push this in there so it goes into that and it doesn't show. These shoes also I want to darken them a little bit here. This is a little white. The ink was a little bit too liquid, so it didn't have enough pigment. And in here and in here, okay. Also here a little bit, also here a little bit, and here and here. A ver, ¿se ve? ¿No se ve? Can I see? Ponte, eso está. Vale, un poco aquí y un poco aquí. Y un poco aquí. Okay, bye. And now the moment of truth of painting freehands. Very careful. Now, what runes am I gonna put? Well, this is one of those things that I do randomly. I try to draw something that looks like a script. It doesn't need to be completely correct. It doesn't need to be absolutely fantastic. You just need to make some sense. And when I mean sense, it's like it needs to be like some kind of script. There are chaos runes in the Lost and the Damned book. If I'm not mistaken, there was a whole scripture made for the chaos gods. And if you look at some of the old school miniatures, they had this system of freehand written into them. But I'm not that crazy, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be looking up chaos runes right now, if you guys don't mind, because it's almost midnight and I need to wake up early tomorrow. So it's not happening. Yeah, seems to work fine. Just posted a small photo. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna be looking at your stuff later. Fantastic. You guys giving me something to look forward to after I'm finishing this. A ver. And there's another problem with these miniatures, is that they have those print lines and they have capillarity to them. So the washes will go and run through them. So you're not gonna get some script, crisp written stuff sometimes, but that's just fine. It just needs to sell the idea. Alright, bueno, how does it look? Is it selling the idea? I guess so, right? And it ties with the rest of the colors. And now let's do that belt. Let's do that belt. Let's do that belt and the gems. Do you have plans for the next video? Honestly, I have many miniatures, but I don't know what you guys would like to see. So let me show you, okay? Yesterday I gave you 3 options. How about I give you today 3 different options so you can choose. So Le Conquistador with the lamp. There you go. This guy, armor plate, OSL. It has a book and some other stuff in the back. You know, is an adventurer with a few details, but I don't know how interesting it looks like to you. There is the other one who's like a Middenheimer. All right, this one, Warhammer, chainmail, flintlock pistol, I think a potion or a bomb, I'm not really sure. Okay, Gossifrine saying OSL. Okay, and then I have this one. I like this one because of it, also the personality. Look at that, another one with a mask. With look at the knife. It looks like a special forces knife upside down with a knuckle duster right there. See? And it has this very menacing thing. This thing looks like a lot of damage waiting to happen. This could be painted like a kilt. It already has the stripes on it. And then the cape, we can go with a dark blue cape. I think it will fit him very well. I like this miniature as well. Okay, a little OSL tutorial looks cool. I did that on the Witch Hunter, but I can do another one, not a problem. And because I don't use an airbrush or anything like that, it's one of those things that you can basically, alright, just say, hey, you don't have an airbrush, but you can do it like this, okay? There are ways of doing OSL, and, you know, just have fun. Just have fun. You don't need to sweat it too much. Alright, let's finish this guy, because it's late already. Just a few highlights. Now that this has dried, I'm gonna push it a little bit more on the contrast. A little bit more on the contrast in the face, just to get those features showing up very clearly. And that's gonna be the cheekbones, the eyebrows, and a little bit of detail here, and also the tip of the nose and the tip of the moon. Okay, let's go. I like the armor as is. I like this dark metallic color, but the blade, I want it to look sharp. So I want to go back to that and give it a small highlight in some areas as well. The metal looks quite cool as it is. So whatever I do now, I have to be very, very careful that I don't go overboard with the highlights. And for that, unfortunately, the metal that I have is the highlight of highlights in metals. Runefang steel is very, very, very light. It's not the lightest actually, because there are other lighter colors, but it's very light. So I have to be very nuanced, and I have to treat this like a white highlight. Just the tip, okay? Just a small dot, just the tip. I know that's what he said, but you know. Ah, well, there we are. Just a little bit in some areas. And here, that scale armor, same thing. The tips of the scales. So we get the volume that is gonna tell us that this is comprised of several pieces. Remember that we're painting for readability across the table. Not talking much now, so I can focus on not making mistakes. And then the stars. These are important features, so need to be properly highlighted. Whew. Breathe in. Let's go again. Okay, now here each one of these globes has a small rivets. Okay, and also the blade. All right, let's see how we do the blade. Once again, we need to make the volumes readable. So it has this, I think this is called a flange, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm mistaken. I don't want to leave my stream saying stupid things. And I think it's a flange, which basically is adding resistance to the blade and making it lighter, because you're removing metal from it. But if it's not a flange, let me know how you call this thing. I remember when we were kids, people will say, you know, because we're kids, we're stupid. they will say, well, that's meant for, you know, when you stab somebody, it will let air go into the wound. I don't think that was the main idea behind that at all. The idea was just make it lighter. All right, make it lighter and better and more resistant. This is a sword meant for chopping heads. So it's an executioner's blade. And there are some examples that they are in museums and they have cool written stuff on them, because they were basically ceremonial weapons. They will only be used in cases, you know, court of law and things like that. So this type of ceremonial blades, let me see if I can find an example of a real one. I mean, it was necessary. It was, the executioners were necessary for maintaining the law, but it was they were pariahs. They were necessary to the authorities. They were feared, often socially isolated, because everybody associated them with death and punishment. And sometimes they were even required to live apart from, you know, respectable society. And they were, it was an interesting thing, because they were both a public servant and a figure of contamination, if it makes sense. So this can tell a story about who this person is, because this is not a regular weapon. This is not something that you will get made for anybody. It is a very specific tool for a very specific trade. So is he actually, this guy, is he actually maybe an actual former executioner, or maybe an actual executioner, you know, or did he join the chaos because society already treated him like a monster? So this is telling such a cool story, because you can also like say, okay, maybe he considers that justice has to be served in a different way. So he's outside of society, and he's now he's taking revenge, and he's taking revenge against those people who scorned him. So that's why he's using the weapon that he was using to deliver justice. He's finding his justice through this. Or, you know, you can always say, well, maybe he's the executioner within that cult. Like they are a society that is off the limits of the regular society. Or is he executing, for instance, traitors within the cult? Okay, maybe he's doing that for the cult. That's his job. Or is he collecting heads for a god? Is he doing this as a ritual thing for the god? You know, that the god is saying, okay, maybe it's not one of the chaos gods, but it's something like a demon or something like that, that is saying, okay, I need you to exact and get me heads. Get me heads. Okay? So the most dangerous villains are not the ones who we think they are murderers, are actually the ones who they think that they are judges. They are like doing a service, and they think they are righteous by doing that service. Those are the most dangerous people, because criminals, they know they are outside of society and they know that they are no good. But people who believe that they are actually doing God's work, or exacting the justice that they think arbitrarily is the one that should be, those are really dangerous villains, because there is no reasoning with them. Okay, they don't, it's not that they don't want to get caught, it's that they think that they're gonna get paid for their services, because they think they're doing the right thing, and that's very dangerous. That is very dangerous. Another thing to think, you know, to think about. But let me see if I can find an executioner's blade, because that was what I was saying. But anyways, a ver, executioner's blade. I remember seeing one, but I need to find a proper one. There we go. This is a historical one. Let me see if I can show you. This one. Okay, so you see, yeah, there is no point. This sword has no point. The main idea of this sword was basically to chop heads. So you don't have a point because there is no point on having a point on this sword. This is not a sword for stabbing. Somebody's gonna be in front of you, laying down, and you're gonna chop their head. That was the main idea behind that. There was no intention for this to be used at war. So that's exactly what you're gonna be using it for and nothing else. Let me see if I can find. There was another one that had an inscription, but I don't know if I can find that one. But this one, oh yeah, this one. There we go. Let me see. I don't know if you can see this one in my screen. Let me see if I can show this one. Just a second. A ver, now this one, fine. It's from Cleveland Art. I think it's the museum. Okay, let's go. Boom, there you go. So this is from the late 1600s. The length is around 42 7/8 of an inch. In other words, 108 centimeters. But the blade is 85.7 centimeters, which is 33 3/4 of an inch. And it weighs almost 2.5 kilos, 2.3 kilos, or in other words, 5 pounds, around that. And it says, what is that? Let me see. The description in the sword reads, "When I raise this sword, so wish that this poor sinner will receive eternal life." So that's what an executioner blade is. So in other words, this guy is brandishing a weapon, I mean an exaggerated weapon, a fantasy version of that kind of weapon that is meant exactly for one single purpose, and is exacting justice in the most final way that is possible. And the fact that this guy is a cultist wearing a moon face, all these factors combine into one very specific miniature that you can base a whole campaign on. If you're a creative writer and if you want to make it look cool, you can make this guy the centerpiece of a whole plot for a fantasy setting campaign. And that's pretty neat. If a miniature can inspire you to do something like that, that is pretty neat. You have a fantastic piece in front of you. Because it is very easy to go through the way of throwing a lot of stuff onto a miniature and not really telling a story, just telling a lot of things. But this guy tells a story, many stories. So that's why I think it's one of the best miniatures that I have got into this care package from Gabriel from Magic Dice Manufacturing. I told you guys I was going to paint green, and I'm gonna do that now because we are almost done. Notice that most of the miniature is almost finished. I still have to decide what to do with this belt. Maybe I'll leave it like that in white, give it a little bit of shading so it feels like it's dirtier than that. But I want to do a little bit of green, and I'm gonna do it in these three things. I want to paint them like somehow like emeralds or something like that, okay? And today for this I'm gonna use solid colors. I'm not gonna go through with washes. So I'm gonna use the three greens that we get in the base set, which are these three. Let me show you. In the base set for starter set from AK. One is deep green. This is gonna be the main color in it. The other one is this turquoise, and the other one is frog green. And I know they are like not there, but in the sense of the tone, they are like very different. But if we mix them, if we work with them together, yes, they will work. Cozy Fran is asking me, do I have a Discord server? Yes, I do have a Discord server. This is for channel members, and that's where we hang out and we discuss things and we talk about all kinds of things, because we are people from very different professions. And although there is some overlap in our interests, it's funny to see how many different professions actually like this. So we have some policemen, we have somebody that does video editing, so it's funny. Anyways, so yes. Okay, let's try to do this. I mix my paints a little bit, okay? And I have a very strange greenish color. Let's try to go there with this. This is the base color And from here I need to work from this one. Of course it doesn't look like a gem yet, because we haven't done the trick to making gems. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. A ver, now I'm gonna get some of the turquoise. This is still wet, and I'm gonna put it here at the bottom. Turquoise, this one is quite dark, as you can see. It's this dark bluish green. A little bit more. And a little bit more here. And in order to tie these these three gems to something else on this guy, I had right now one of those semi-inspired ideas where I get turquoise and I'm gonna very, very, very carefully thin it down, and I'm gonna put it in here in the eye. See, at the bottom of the eye. And that is gonna create that small tie-in with the other side. All right, so boom, let's do it like that, let's do it like this, let's put it here, and now let's get some white. And now this is where I have to be extra mega careful, because this is still very wet. So right now I'm just gonna put a tip, then I'll come back when it dries and do some extra things to it, but now it's just this tip. I want it to be like this because it's gonna mix with the paint below and do the transition as I want it to be. But right now, no more touchy, no touchy. Touch the fishy. Let's see. Okay, let's let it dry. Finish with the belt. A ver, let me see. Okay, this color. A ver how I do this, okay? How I pull it off. I have an idea also, which is risky, but maybe it will pay off. Let's do the turquoise very lightly in the belt. So it becomes this thing, and then we have another tie color in there. Why am I not in that Discord server? Are you one of the channel members? I think. If you are not, or if you are, I just posted today on the channel Discord, sorry, the members only posts, the link to join that. So maybe. Alright, how does it look like, guys? Is it tying in now? Let's get here. There is a little bit more in here. I'm just gonna wash slightly so we get the hue that I want. A ver. Y a ver. Yes, it's very cheap, okay? So if you want, I mean, we are like 4 people there. It's not something that is gonna give you access to a super fancy jet set type of place, but I do check it every day, all the time, because it's one of those things. It's like having WhatsApp. So, and you have access to Fran, who's always sculpting something crazy, and you have access to Conrad, who's always playing historicals, and we talk about life and general things. So mostly it's just the three of us talking crap, and Frank always coming up with very cool sculpts about, I don't know, he comes up with the darnest things, man. He's doing something for like an Indiana Jones version of Hero Quest, and I'm like, what the hell? And he sculpts super cool stuff, and I know his miniatures are now selling in Minis 3D, the Spanish company, so they are super cool stuff. And he also sculpted these ones. Just give me a second, okay? Let me just finish this highlight. All right, I'm gonna glaze this a little bit later, but and then I have to do this. Okay, so we get this highlight going like that. But I'm gonna show you one of the miniatures, some of the miniatures that he sculpted. They look super old school, and I love them, and they were so much fun to paint. I painted them for my Advanced Hero Quest. I wanted to use them in my Advanced Hero Quest. I need to do that playthrough. Alright, I'm gonna do the base right after this. How do you guys like it? Very simple paint job, nothing out of the ordinary. Let me just do something. Wait. But as you can see, is the character in the miniature sells the whole story very well, and that's exactly how it should be. That's exactly how a good sculpt should look. Okay, vamos a ver. Let's put a little bit of this yellow, Nasdaq yellow, under this, so we get the contrast that we want to see those small things. There we are. But what I like about this, doing this type of format, is that I'm pretty sure you guys can see this is very doable. Okay, it is very doable. You can get very cool paint jobs with a few paints and just, you know, ready to go onto the tabletop, and there you go. I don't know what else to say. This is doable by anybody that has a little bit of fine motor skills. If you basically know how to write, you can do this. Okay, there's nothing extremely difficult on this. Man, I really like the sword like this. I really like this sword. The moon mask is just magnificent, and I like how the colors came out, because there is this contrast that this is the focal point. Everything else is accessory. This is the focal point, and I think we nailed it, because we decided to leave this in this off-white pinkish tone that is basically guiding everything is guiding your face, your eyes, like go here, go here, go here. Is the flow of all the elements pointing towards the face. Even the arms do the same thing, you know, this is the central point, just go there. So if you paint that well, everything else ties in. Everything ties in. So I'm very happy with this miniature, honestly. Alright, I wanted to show you the heroes before I do the base. The heroes that Frank made. Let me just go here. This is my small tub with all my Advanced Hero Quest miniatures. Very shiny. And he did these girls. We have the Barbarian. Focus in there. There you go. Female Barbarian. Hero Quest base. Very cool mini. Hero Quest sword. Simple. Very, I don't know, old school. Let's put it that way. Then we have the dwarf, which she reminds me a lot of Helga from the campaign. What is the name of that? Drong something. Which is one of the Warhammer Fantasy 5th edition campaigns that they had in boxes. It reminds me of Queen Helga, but it doesn't look like Queen Helga. If you look up Queen Helga, you will see that she's very different. And she has the same axe with a tree scale from well, the original dwarf. And then we have the elf. Boom. Who looks a little bit like Cher. A little bit. Okay. Only it's blonde. Short sword. Nothing. What I like is also that they are not sexual in that sense. I really like pin-up models as well, but you wear armor and clothes if you go into a dungeon, you know what I mean? So everything has its place, but these particular ones, they look like some people that actually are gonna go into the dungeon and deal with things. And the wizard looks very Bretonian, very cool minis, very easy to paint, very straightforward. I had a lot of fun with them, and they are shiny because they have that varnish coat that I use for gaming pieces, and I honestly cannot recommend them enough. Like, they take, each one of them is like this type of painting that I do. One session, you sit down, you get it through, and you just have fun with them. Very nice stuff to have to play with. Okay, bueno, let's do the base, and now we can wrap up the video after I do the base. And as usual, we're gonna do the typical dungeon base. I think I'm gonna leave these rocks like this, these stones like this, because they look the color that I want them to look, and I don't want to glaze them and then something stupid to them. I'm just gonna make sure that I have a little bit of highlight here, and you know, like that. Vale, ahora está mejor. Another side as well. Here. So what would you guys like to see on tomorrow's video? Hopefully, well, tomorrow we'll see because this week has been is killing me. There's a lot of work to do, but if I can, I will stream tomorrow as well, 10 p.m. Eastern European time, 10ish, something, depends. But let me know, what are you looking forward to? If you would like to see something painted in the channel and I have it nearby, or I can get a hold of it, what will it be? I don't know. Anything, let me know, okay? But as you can see, I have plenty of miniatures over here to paint from the set that I got. Do you want me to start painting the dungeon and see how I can figure out how to do that? I have some ideas, but I need to prepare the pieces, and once I start, I don't want to stop, because but I will have to stop because I'm gonna go to Spain in a couple of weeks after school is over, and then I will do some stuff there. So probably I'm gonna be doing the live streams from there, different setting but same setup. So let me know whilst I'm doing this. Okay, there we go, sketched. And now some white. Today's yellow is very yellow. Why is it so yellow? Why is this eyes yellow, so yellowish? Fear not, my friends, because I have Agrex Airshade and it's gonna bring it all together no matter what. We can do whatever. But those glazes are fixing everything. They are the heavy lifters. They are the heavy lifters here. Okay, black now. 86% have voted. So we went from 90 plus down to 86%. Definitely Chaos are the bad guys, but some people decide to say no, they are misunderstood. Who are you? Speak up, tell us why. Why do you think they are misunderstood? Are you thinking about the Chaos from Warhammer 40k or the Chaos from Warhammer Fantasy? Because I know that even though the gods are the same and the main idea behind each one of the ruinous powers is exactly the same, when you start thinking about Horus Heresy and what happened during the Horus Heresy, some people might be partial to some Chaos gods. Or maybe some people might be partial to the people, okay, that fell for the tricks of the dark gods. And here we say, in 40k the Imperium are the bad guys, orcs are the best. Orcs are very cool. I like the background. I don't know if you guys watch any looting. Look, those are videos that I really enjoy. Looting lore videos where he explains how the ancient ones created the orcs to basically fight for them. So at the beginning they were very smart and quite competent fighters, but then they went basically and became feral creatures with all those traits that they will have embedded into different categories, like the psychers or the mechanics or whatever. So orcs are not bad per se. I like that they just like fighting, and that's something that they do well. And if you like something and you like it that much, you're probably gonna get good at it. So, but for an imperial citizen, I don't think there is a big difference between having Chaos Cultists coming on you, Chaos or Tyranids or Orcs. For your soul, probably there is a big difference, but from the perspective of surviving until next day, yeah, not much, is it? So, but if you were in a 40k setting, okay, and just imagine you live in a semi-decent planet, okay, not a hive city, not a, I don't know, savage world. How do you call those? You know, like Katachan. They're called feral worlds. I'm not really sure what is the name right now. If you live in one of those settings, okay, and it's okay. It's like this planet. Let's say that, you know, you pay taxes, you go to your job, you have the dread of existence. That is okay. It's bearable. And then one day, the news go. Okay, and they announce that you are gonna be into the citizens of defense forces, or whatever you have, the planetary defense forces of that planet, because there is a menace coming your way, and within 7 days you're gonna be fighting it. Which one will you choose of all the bad things that can happen to you in the 40k universe, and why? Which one? Because come to think of it, okay, let's say that you deal with orcs. That is gonna be brutal, and on top of that, if you kill orcs and whatever, you're gonna get spores, and if you get spores, you're gonna get orcs over and over and over again. So you need to use a lot of Promethean on that. If you get chaos, well, good luck with that. Depending on the chaos faction, holy crap, man. I mean, I think the best one probably to deal with is Corn Berserkers, because they will kill you very quick, very badly, but very quick. But if you get Nurgle, no gracias, okay? If you get Slaanesh, yeah, people might laugh at it at the beginning. Haha, I would love to have a Slaanesh. No, man. No, I don't think you will like it after the first 10 minutes. And if you're gonna get, you know, I don't know, Iron Warriors or Night Lords, you are royally screwed. You are in for a very bad time. That's chaos only. But what if you get Tyranids? That is awful. I mean, of all the things that you can deal with, probably the one that looks the least bad, in my opinion, it's Tau. The Tau, okay? Because, I don't know, they are sus. They have some... It's too good to be true. But at least, I think if you don't make it through, they are not vicious, or they are not trying to eat you, or they are not trying to do things like that. They're just trying to, you know, get you for the greater good. Your planet is gonna be colonized now, and just call it a day. But I don't know, man. 40k sounds like a very brutal, very awful place if you exist in anywhere but one of those cool planets where nothing ever happens and it will never happen, and you are just, you know, just minding your own business. But as they say, in the dark future, okay, there is only war. In the vast universe of the dark future, 41st millennium, there is only war. So, okay, let's do the last couple of things. I think I needed to dry today. I went a little bit overboard with the wash, so it needs to dry. But what is it gonna be tomorrow then? What do you guys want me to paint? Just write a comment on the chat, let me know, and I can always go back to this guy, but I don't think I can finish this guy in one go. It doesn't have too much stuff going on beyond this big blade, but it's big, and big means more time, so maybe I can do it in a couple of nights, maybe. So what else? We have the guy with the lamp hanging. Is this one that you guys want to see, because we're gonna get the OSL effect from that lamp. Which one would it be? Let me know in the comments, please. Per favore. And this guy, well, let's leave it as is for now. Let me just put some blue tack so I can rotate it on the camera, because I put a lot of wash there. And what I can do now is just put a little bit of the green, which I have left over from yesterday, and I'm gonna clean my palette today. Lamp holder. Okay, so at least one person is choosing lamp holder, and if nobody else is gonna pronounce themselves in this, lamp holder is gonna be. I like the name, lamp holder. In Warhammer Quest, lamp is the most important item. You lose the lamp, you die, and that's it. Call it a day. Lamp holder. You know what? I always do the same. I'm not gonna do this now. I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna finish it all. It's the only thing that is left. Is just putting this. Vale, pues lamp holder is gonna be then. Lamp holder will be. Some mud there. Ah, I forgot I was going to do something. No. Haha, this is not happening without that. Sorry guys, it's gonna last 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, because I knew it. Ha! Alright, 5 more minutes. Just bear with me, 5 more minutes. No. No. Executioner's blade without blood? No freaking way. No, sorry mate, this is happening. Alright, this is happening. Let's put some of it here. Focus on there. Alright, so first of all, point of impact. Right here, that looks like a good point of impact. Vale? I know it looks like, wow, not good. Wait, bear with me. Very sharp brush. Then, this is the center of the point of impact. So from there, pull that. See, like a star. Okay, see? And then just a second, I'll read a message right now. Here, again, same thing. Point of impact, pull, drag the brush from there. Okay, a little bit more. Let's see if I can show you that properly. There we go. That's the point of impact. And now very carefully, I mean, if you have an old brush, which is probably what I have, I'm gonna use this dry brush. Very carefully. Okay, I'm gonna flick it. Let's see if it works. I think I need a little bit of water on it because it's not. Aha! You see, it's giving me the stippling. There we go. I'm gonna put a little bit of him. Perfect. This is something I wanted to do from the beginning of the stream and I forgot completely, but good thing I remembered. That's the last point. The last thing that is gonna make the miniature tell an even better story, which is he's an executioner and he does cut heads, and then you see there's blood splatter on him and the blood on the blade. So he did something already. Look at that. He's going into his face, etc, etc. Boom. Ahí está. There we go. Last point. Because otherwise the blade is just something big, metallic and menacing. This is telling you this thing works, man. It does its job. So there you go. Vale. Alright. Well, let me see. Beneath the flagstones, you're saying I really need to paint my complete adventure from the 80s. You seen that mini? No, but I'm gonna see it now. Okay, so I'm gonna check it after I close this, and definitely I'm gonna see what you are painting. But if it's one of those 80s miniatures that I cannot find or is difficult to source, yeah, I might not be able to help you with that much. Sorry, but I'm gonna check what you're talking about. So guys, this is it for today. Moonface, Chaos Cult Leader, telling a big story with a few details. Very fun mini to paint. We worked on fabric texture. We worked on how to paint yellow with a little bit underwash of magenta. We worked on deciding some colors that will just travel, make your eyes travel to the biggest feature, which is this. And the last thing that I almost forgot is that I wanted to give it that little bit of blood, and as it dries it's gonna become brown. But in order to gain this, the vibrancy and the color that you want to have in it, the best thing is to have some varnish, bright varnish, and just paint over it. It will go matte now, but it's still telling the story that this guy cuts heads for a living. There we go. I will see you tomorrow. We're gonna paint that guy with the OSL. And you know, remember, my name is Miguel, this is Rush the Wash, and I'll catch you in the next stream. Un beso, adiós y buenas noches.
In a world where everything is grim, it's time to color it up. Beyond the grey, beyond the noise, there are distant lands of plastic and static grass, where heroes rise, where monsters clash, where dice still roll, and we become kids again.